I've got to bring this to your attention, all right? And it is 2 things that will destroy your relationship with God, all right? It's so important. Hi there, guys. It's Robert, an ambassador for Christ. And as you know, I go to Kingdom Goals. Remember, as usual, eat the fish and spit out the bones for some things you may agree with and some things you may not. Make sure you subscribe or join that Facebook group. It's going to be powerful, awesome stuff. Now, 2 things that will destroy your relationship with God. It's so, it's deep. Number 1, all right? Number 1, your priorities are all incorrect. Your priorities are all incorrect and topsy-turvy. It's all craziness, all right? Let me tell you how the enemy works. See, you'll wake up in the morning and you will eat your breakfast and then you will go to work. And while you're at work, you'll be thinking, you know what? I'm going to pray at lunchtime, or I'm going to read the Bible at lunchtime. Lunchtime comes, you don't do nothing. You go back into work. And while you're at work, you think to yourself, or at college, university, school, or wherever you're doing your business, when it gets to about, when you're working between, you know, after lunchtime, you're thinking to yourself, you know what? When I get home tonight, I'm going to have a proper worship session. I'm going to read the Bible. I'm going to read the Bible on the bus on the way home. I'm going to listen to the Bible in the car on the way home. And when you get on the way home, you do none of that. When you get home, you don't do none of that. You eat your dinner, and then you think, right, after dinner, I'm going to pray. Then after dinner happens, you don't pray. You think to yourself, right, before I go to bed, I'm going to read the Bible and pray before I go to sleep. You get the Bible, you're laying down on the bed, you start trying to read the Bible and you fall asleep. Next thing you know, it's the morning again. See, what it is that your priorities are wrong. And what happens to us is that as we keep doing this lifestyle, the days go past very, very quickly. And the next thing you realize, you haven't spoken to God for 6 days. Woo! You haven't read the Bible for 2 weeks. And it goes past so fast. It goes past so fast that it's like Usain Bolt, just whoom, straight past. The days fly past so quick, and you become drier and drier and drier, and you know your life starts going crazy. See, this is so dangerous. It's a dangerous place to be, because there's a lot of Christians, even you, I'm talking to you, all right? You, whoever you are watching. See, you haven't read the Bible for 6 months. You haven't prayed for 6 months. You've been struggling with your walk with God because your priorities are all incorrect. So what you need to do is get your priorities right. Listen, in the morning, if you don't listen, you need to structure yourself, all right? You need to pray in the morning. You have to set some sort of time aside for prayer, for worship, for reading the word. You have to do it. You have to force yourself to do it. And you have to have it at the forefront of your mind. You might have to get up earlier in the morning and start to read the Bible and pray. I don't know, but you have to make it a priority. The Bible says, you know, if you acknowledge the Lord in all your ways, and he shall direct your path. If the Bible speaks about putting God first, honoring God, all right, with the first fruits of all your increase, yeah. But I'm going to say increases in, you got an increased life because you woke up in the morning. God has increased your life, and now you have to acknowledge the Lord, okay, with your first fruits, meaning give him the first fruits of the morning, give him the first fruits of your new day. All right, that's just taking it a look. I know it's talking about increases in food and money and all this stuff here, but I took it to another level. Let me move on to number 2. Number 2, disobedience. It's quite deep. Disobedience. See, not doing what God has told you to do. See, this is how the voice of God is so simple to hear. All right, let me give you a little bit of an example of this. All right, anything you hear that is positive, that's going to be either God or an angel, because demons are not telling you to do something positive. All right, so for example, if you hear inside you have an inner voice that says to you, you know, I want you to give £300 to a certain sister at church, or you feel that, that's not the devil. The devil is not telling you to give money to anybody. Your flesh is not telling you to give money to anyone. So anything to do with giving, it doesn't have to be money. It could be your time. It could be something like that, or your treasure, helping people. That is not Satan. Satan is not going to tell you to help someone out. Trust me, that's God talking to you. But then we disobey that inner voice, and we just don't bother listening to it, and we don't realize that what God is telling us to do, it's the key to release somebody else onto the next level. Do you understand what I mean? Disobedience. When you're upset about something that's happened to you, very unforgiving, and you hear a voice say, forgive that person, forgive her, forgive him, forgive them. Okay, you hear that inner voice, but you disobey. You don't forgive nobody. See, that's disobedience, because God is telling you something that is positive. He's telling you to do something that is positive. Listen, Satan is not telling you not to, Satan is not going to say to you, or demons are not going to say to you, forgive that person. They're not going to do that. Satan is not going to do that. So anything you hear that is positive, anything that you hear inside your inner man, your inner self, all right, you feel it, this gut feeling, this voice you hear that's telling you to do something positive, that's going to be, there's a high chance it's going to be God, all right, because God is always telling us to do good things. The Bible speaks about love your neighbor as yourself. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Do you get what I mean? So it's always going to be something good. That's how you know. But the thing is, we disobey that inner voice, and when we disobey that inner voice, our relationship with God starts to go downhill. Why? Because we are not listening to the good things and the good instructions that's being sent forth from God. And because we're not listening to God, you're going to start to listen. You're by default, you're listening to the enemy, isn't it? Because God is telling you to do something specific, and you're not doing it. So if God is telling you something good to do and you're not doing it, then because you're not doing that good thing, then obviously you're going to be doing something bad. And what is the bad thing? Disobeying God. See, I've had God speak to me on many occasions, and I've disobeyed. And because I've disobeyed God, something dramatic's happened in my life. Something adverse, something crazy's happened. And when I've gone through a crazy situation, God says to me, I told you not to do that. 6 months ago. You didn't listen to me, and look what's happened now. I told you not to do it. Do you get what I mean? That's like a little bit of an example of hearing the voice of God. It's quite powerful. Anything positive you hear in your spirit, that's going to be either God talking to you or angels encouraging you or something like that, all right? So they're the two main things that will destroy your relationship with God, all right? Number one is getting your priorities wrong and not putting God first. Number two is disobedience, not listening to what God is saying to you, the inner voice of something good, to do something good to someone, to release something good to people, to help somebody else in a positive way, give someone a word of prophecy, something positive, something encouraging, something that edifies, something that helps. Do you get what I mean? That's well, we can't do no disobedience. And don't get me wrong, we are disobedient and we do make mistakes. God forgives us, and God is going to forgive you, obviously. But they're the two things. Let me leave it there. It's Robert, Ambassador for Christ. And as you know where I go to Killing Girls. Remember, eat the fish and spit on the bones. Join that Facebook group. Leave a comment down below. I shall see you guys on the next video. God is awesome.